Yo, what's up guys? In this video we are going to talk about why there are more fat women than fat men. Does biology play a part in it? Is it conditioning or is it something else? We'll find out right now, okay? Now before we get into that, if you guys haven't already, click subscribe. Try to make videos as often as I can. Lately it's been every day, but it'll probably be multiple times per day because of a new content strategy that I learned from Gary Vee called Document, Don't Create. So a lot more stuff coming. Check out my digital marketing channel. I put out tons of videos on that channel where I basically just like film myself working and doing digital marketing things. Also, check the description for my other social media links, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff. Add me on all those platforms. Reach out to me, ask me questions, talk to me. I'm like, I'm down for that. Cool? All right, so why are there more fat women than fat men? Now, obviously, like biology plays a part, right? Men have more muscle mass, they're gonna have higher metabolism, more testosterone is gonna help them build muscle faster. And you can cheat more on your diet, I guess, when you're a guy, right? Without really like feeling or noticing negative effects like weight gain. Now that said, I'll also say that I think a big part of the reason why men are more, I guess, lean and fit looking than women is a few things. Okay, number one, for a man to be considered attractive, he needs to have muscle, right? He needs to like be fit, toned, defined, and it's pretty competitive out there for men, right? Like to get into like the top level of shape that you see from guys that are like famous on social media, or like athletes or whatever, like you pretty much like either need to be doing steroids, like you kind of do, because it's pretty impossible to get that lean and that ripped and that big and that vascular without going on steroids, which is fine. That's like, I think the risks of steroids are kind of overblown in America at least, but still I think that there's some like detrimental effects to your health, and like you really don't want to be doing it long term because you're probably going to die younger because of like heart issues. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, it's easier for women to be attractive, right? Like women, I mean, yeah, of course it helps if you like work out and you've got like, you're like an Instagram booty model or something, but like girls, as long as you're like thin, then, you can just wear like normal clothes and be considered attractive, right? And plus, like as thirsty as guys are, right, as like, attracted as we are to the female form, just visually speaking, you don't need to be like porn star tier, like be that like attractive in order to be desired by men. You just don't need to, right? So like on the one hand, men have to work harder, like it's pretty much required for a man to work harder in order to be attractive, whereas a woman doesn't really have that evolutionary pressure. Okay, now the third reason, and the one that God, I don't want there to be wind. I hope there's no wind in this video. Bane of my existence. The third reason, and the one that like I find to be pretty much, I would say, most important, or at least like very important because we don't really notice it, is the fact that women tend to base their decisions on what they're going to eat on how attractive a food looks, visually speaking, right? Like it's like, for example, and this is just my experience, it could just be me, it could be totally wrong, but if I'm eating by myself, right, I'm gonna go to the store, I'm gonna buy, some raw meat, I'm gonna buy some peanuts, I'm gonna drink some water, and like I'm just gonna have a very plain, simple meal, right? And I'll probably eat that 5-6 nights a week, but if I like have a girlfriend at that time, or if I'm like dating some girl, or if I'm even just like hanging out with a girl who's a friend, she's gonna want to eat something different like every single night. She's gonna want to prepare it in a certain way that like it looks nice and it's got like the right amount of ingredients in it, pretty much regardless of like what the health benefits are. It just needs to like have the right stuff in it, like have enough stuff to make it like, I don't know, to have variety, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it needs to like look nice on the plate. Whereas me, like I'll just eat my meat like straight out of the package with a little bit of salt and I'll be fine. Now you could say like, oh, well that's just you, that's not all guys or that's not all girls. But I noticed, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I noticed this when I was hanging out with a friend of mine in Thailand about 2 months ago. I had a female friend come to visit me, and she stayed for a few weeks, and like, how it is when somebody comes to visit you in another country from out of town, you hang out with them a lot and you feel like maybe like a little bit responsible for like making sure they have a good time. So we would go like, eat in different places, and I noticed that she would pretty much never have an appetite unless we went to a place that had like really nicely photographed items on the menu, like food items on the menu, like a really like nice looking sandwich with like lots of bright colors and like, you know, salmon and avocado and just like the contrast between all that. And when we were at a place like that, oh my God, she would like wolf down her food in like 5 minutes. But if it was just me and her eating like, you know, fried rice at some, you know, street food stall, it'd take her like 45 minutes to eat something. Okay, now again, you could say that's just her, she's just weird, whatever, and that's fine. But I mean, I've just noticed, like, even just walking down the street here in Tokyo, like the stands that have the food like nicely set up in like these cute little boxes, because Tokyo is kind of unique, or Japan in general, I guess, in that like the people here are very organized and like everything is like lined up the way it should be and like visually pleasing. So I noticed that the more visually pleasing and the more colorful places that stand out, they tend to attract a lot more female browsers, right? And again, like you could say this about all of modern society and shopping and stuff like that, that it's going to attract, that it's essentially designed to attract women, because women are the ones who spend the money on that kind of stuff. Men, we don't really care. Like we'll wear the same shirt every day and like, you know, eat the same food every night and like have our one chair that we like and a couple shows or some sports or something like that. We're, you know, comparatively very simple. But women always need to have like some kind of variety, some kind of like new stimulation, at least in modern society. And again, this isn't like passing judgment on women that they're like shallow or whatever. This is just like how we evolved as human beings, right? And this is also, by the way, why our society, like human civilization, is as developed as it is. Because if we weren't like this, then we'd still be living in caves. You know, if women were cool with living in caves, we'd live in a fucking cave, you know? But they're not, so thank God we don't. So anyway, I think that because women are more easily influenced by the appearance of food on their appetite, they're more likely to make poor decisions when it comes to buying food at a supermarket, for example. Not just restaurants, you know, but I guess restaurants also. You know, let's say women who have less money, you know, I don't want to say lower class, but like lower income, they're probably going to be subjected to more like advertising of fast foods. There's going to be more fast food places in their area. They're going to have less options for healthy food. And, you know, those big corporations that have those fast food companies, they're very good at making the food look visually appealing, right? Those burgers at Jack in the Box, they look good in the commercial, you know, Burger King, McDonald's, they all look really good, you know? So yeah, that's my theory. I don't know, I could be totally wrong. And again, obviously it does have something to do with, you know, men have more like muscle mass and their metabolism is higher, and men are probably generally like more likely to, you know, lift weights and like have an exercise routine that's going to build more muscle on them anyway and increase their metabolism. All right, I get all that. But I think all things being equal, women are probably more likely to eat unhealthy food than men. I don't know, am I wrong? I could be wrong, okay? So anyway, if you guys like that video, please subscribe to my channel. Almost at 1,000 subscribers, I can taste it. Go check out my digital marketing channel. I'm dumping tons of content on there about copywriting, creating sales funnels, like online businesses, advertising, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to learn about that, check it out over there. Also, check my description for all my social media links, Instagram, you know, you can read my blog if you want. Yeah, I have a blog. I'm kind of like embarrassed about promoting it, but I've got some pretty good articles on there that you can read about all kinds of stuff. Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. Cool? Peace.